Good morning. Today is Tuesday, June the 13th, and our lesson this morning is Message to the Ammonites. And it's coming from Judges, the 11th chapter, the 12th verse through the 18th verse. And as I spoke earlier, we are connecting our lesson to the Sunday's lesson. Our Sunday's lesson is Jephthah answered and vowed. As we read this lesson, we will tie it into yesterday's lesson and uh, pull it together with Sunday's lesson as we go along. And the scripture lesson text read, And Jephthah sent messengers unto the king of the children of Ammon, saying, What hast thou to do with me, that thou art come against me to fight in my land? And the king of the children of Ammon answered unto the messengers of Jephthah, Because Israel took away my land, when they came up out of Egypt, from Arnon even unto Jabbok, and unto Jordan. Now therefore restore those lands again peaceably. And Jephthah sent messengers again unto the king of the children of Ammon, and said unto him, Thus saith Jephthah, Israel took not away the land of Moab, nor the land of the children of Ammon. But when Israel came up from Egypt, and walked through the wilderness unto the Red Sea, and came to Kadesh, then Israel sent messengers unto the king of Edom, saying, Let me, I pray thee, pass through thy land. But the king of Edom would not hearken thereto, and in like manner they sent unto the king of Moab, and he would not consent. And Israel abode in Kadesh. Then they went along through the wilderness, and compassed the land of Edom and the land of Moab, and came by the east side of the land of Moab, and pitched on the other side of Arnon, but came not within the border of Moab, for Arnon was the border of Moab. Amen. This is a wonderful and powerful lesson we have this morning. First of all, this lesson is showing us that Jephthah is leading a group of people that will be he's talking to the kings, he's speaking for Israel. He is now in position to speak for Israel. So he was sent a message to the kings, to the king that was trying to do battle with the Israelites. Now, uh, we haven't got to the portion of the lesson that speaks on Jephthah becoming head, but if we look back to what we discussed yesterday, Jephthah was kicked out of his home. He was put aside uh, and not allowed to be a part of the family. So now he is speaking, not, we're just said we don't, just said we haven't read the lesson. We don't know why he's speaking for the children of Israel, but we do know that he's speaking to a king on their behalf. And the first thing we notice is that instead of coming in and going to war, Jephthah has the knowledge to first go to them in a manner of trying to find out what the situation is, what's causing the problem. Jephthah uh, was an intelligent man, and even though he was over a band of outlaws, to say, he still had carried knowledge and understanding of how to manage and handle business in a professional way, even in those days. And so uh, he began to send messages to the king, and he sent and he said, why do you want to fight against us? Why are you fighting against me? And the king sent the message back and said, we fight against you because you took our land. You came and took our land. But he didn't realize that Jephthah was learned and intelligent and had the knowledge to reciprocate what was going on. He knew Moses' background. He had read and had understanding of what had actually happened. He kept it in his mind. He didn't forget it because he was thrust out of his home. He kept it in his mind, and when this point in time came, he was ready. He spoke up and he said, "No, this is not what happened." He says, when Israel came up from Egypt in the 16th verse and walked through the wilderness unto the Red Sea and came to Kadesh, then Israel sent messages unto the king of Edom, saying, "Let me, I pray thee, pass through thy land." He knew the dialogue and what had been said. He had read explicitly with understanding of what had been said, what had been done, and what was allowed. And so we want to look at Jephthah in a manner of no matter what circumstances we are in, we want to make sure that we get all the information that we can while we can, because we never know what position we are going to be in. Jephthah had gained a lot of knowledge before he was kicked out of his home, so he kept that knowledge and used that knowledge for his benefit. He also was able to use it in this circumstance because he knew how to address and handle business. And so we want to uh, look at him as a guideline of whatever we are doing. We never know if what we are doing will help us even in our ministry, because many things that goes on in ministry comes about with business attributes, and we must be ready and able to. That means whenever there's a possibility of learning something, receiving something with knowledge and understanding, that we are to get the most out of it that we can. I'm going to read you a short passage from the Believer's Bible Commentary. It says Jephthah's first action was to send messengers to the king of Ammon, giving him an opportunity to explain his aggression. The king complained that Israel had stolen his land from him when the nation marched from Egypt to Canaan. Jephthah explained clearly that this was not so. The Lord had instructed his people not to meddle with the Edomites, the Moabites in Deuteronomy 2 and 9, or the Ammonites in Deuteronomy 2 and 19, all distant relatives of the Jews. Therefore, the Israelites bypassed the land of Edom and the land of Moab. However, when they came to the territory of the Ammonites, it had already been captured in by the Amorites. So this lets us know that Jephthah used his knowledge to benefit the situation that he's in trying to figure out, okay, what's causing the problem. And if we can settle it with peaceably, then let's do so. And this is the way we are to execute business, whether it's for the Lord, it's a business we're in, we're doing business. We are to make sure we know all the information that we can about it before we open our mouth and speak. I pray that you meditate on this lesson today, and y'all have a wonderful and blessed day.